Hello and welcome to a new card here at justonemore.card.com. I'm Julia, and today I want to show you how I enhanced this little bunny. This is a Digi stamp from Gerda Steiner Designs, and I just printed it on some Tim Holtz watercolor cardstock, and now I want to add something to it. This little guy looks to me like, a geek, and there's often more to geeks than meets the eye. Just because somebody is tech savvy and likes to, spend time with computers doesn't mean they don't, they're not heroes in some ways. And so when I looked at this little guy, I suddenly thought, you know what, who's like the biggest geek out there that is a hidden hero? And then it came to me, Superman, right? He's wearing glasses and everything, but underneath the boring outside, there's a hero. So that's what I'm going to do with the bunny today. I'm using my blender pen. This is a Dove blender pen. You saw me using the Stampin' Up blender pen, and the Dove blender pen is a little different. It has a thicker nib, and the nib kind of disintegrates while you work with it. So what I do is I usually use my scissors to just trim the nib down to so I can keep on using it, and you can replace the nibs. The benefit of this Dove blender pen is that you get a refill of the fluid that you need, and when you pick up the color, you can see that it lasts for quite a while. I only pick it up again and again just because I want some areas to be slightly darker, even though this is only my first coat of color. But on the ears, you will see that you basically only need to pick up color once, and then you can color in a very large area. So that's something that I like about the Dove blender pen. I don't like that the nib isn't very fine at the tip. But hey, you can't have everything, right? So just using a second color here to color in his feet a little bit. And again, this is only my first coat of color. Now, after I have given this some time to dry, you need to give it some time to dry, otherwise you're going to ruin the paper. And this is already watercolor paper. I'm picking up a more intense brown color and adding it. So I'm creating some shadows, but still, of course, leaving some highlights. And you can see that he still looks kind of weird. Don't worry, we'll fix that. This is like watercoloring. When you start, it looks hideous, and then, you kind of hope that it gets better. You can also see that I scribble off the pen on the side sometimes, and that is because sometimes there's so much color left in the nib that it would cover all the highlight areas as well. So that's why I'm scribbling off the color to the side, and only then going back in to blend out the shadows. Now I'm doing the same for the pink parts of his feet. First I put down some color, more intense color, and then I scribble the pen off, and now I blended it out. What am I doing now? Now I'm taking some red and then of course some blue. I have to admit, I'm so embarrassed to say that I had to Google which way around the colors were on the Superman cape. Bah, so embarrassing. So now I'm using the same pen that I used before. This pen does not react with watercolors or with the Dove blender pen, so that's why it's safe to use it. And I'm basically drawing his cape, adding some folds here, and ignore the other slightly psychedelic looking bunny to the top left. I tried something else with the coloring and didn't quite work out. So I'm taking my distress pens directly to the paper. That's just because I'm too lazy to pick up the color from my acetate sheet. If you want a deeper explanation of this technique, I'll link you to a video where I used this before. And now I'm again taking a distress marker, taking it directly to the cardstock, putting it down where it would be darkest, using the blender to blend it out, and then a very, very awesome tool, my finger, to smooth out the blending. You need to be careful though, of course, that you don't get into areas where you're not supposed to go. But I find this actually works, so hey. And it's watercolor, you can wash it off with water, so that works quite well. Then I'm using a silver gel pen to give the rims of his glasses some more interest. I wanted something light because I didn't want anything like a stark contrast to take away from the rest of the coloring. I printed this on my cardstock, and then I used the smaller one of the Bam Bubble dies by Paper Smooches to cut the shape from masking paper, which is going onto my card base. And then I'm using distress inks to color in this shape. And when you see me doing this, you're probably going to go, what in the world is she doing? First she's doing yellow, then she's doing black, and now she's doing blue. You know, there's method to my insanity. You know, by now you should have learned to trust me. I know this looks hideous, but believe in the magic. Specifically now in the magic from Mama Elephant, and I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black ink to stamp the cityscape twice, and then you can see that my Distress Black isn't quite black enough. So I'm using a solid stamp and simply filling up the area in this bubble that didn't quite get covered. You can use any solid stamp basically, you just need something to cover this up, because we're still having the mask on and now we're peeling it off, and now you will actually see that there's a reason why I'm doing this. I'm being careful here, not because I want to reuse the mask, but because I don't want any of the still wet black pigment ink to get in touch with the white cardstock. That's the only reason I'm being so super careful here. And you can see once I reveal this, it actually does look pretty nice, right? I stamped a few stars and circles in the sky area, and then put some Judikins iridescent embossing powder on top of it so it would sparkle. And I put some foam tape behind my bunny, and now I'm arranging it on the front of the card base. And last but not least, using some Wink of Stella to add shimmer to the cape, at least to the red parts and to the little S for Superman. And this is a card for a friend of mine who works in IT, and I hope he will enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the card, and you try to add some little details to your Digi stamps, or even to your real stamps after you've stamped them. If you've enjoyed them, give me a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Bye.